She told me she was taking cooking classes to become a better wife. But when I opened the door one night to surprise her, I found something that burned deeper than any pan left on the stove. My name is Mark. I'm 35, and I live in Austin, Texas. I work as a financial consultant. And my wife, Alina, 32, is a freelance graphic designer. We've been together for nearly 8 years, and to anyone who knew us, we were the couple everyone envied. Playful, affectionate, always laughing. She had this infectious smile, and I used to think she was my safe place in the chaotic world. One day, Alina brought up how she wanted to surprise me. She said she had been thinking about enrolling in cooking classes because, in her words, I want to take care of you in ways that go beyond love. I want to feed your soul too. I laughed it off, but I was touched. She signed up for evening classes at a nearby culinary studio. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, she'd head out in her apron, clutching her little recipe notebook. At first, I thought it was sweet. I was proud of her. She came home smelling like basil and garlic, tired but smiling, telling me about enrecitos. I had no reason to doubt her. But then the small things started piling up. Her phone, once left on the coffee table, became glued to her hand. Messages came late at night, and when I asked, she brushed it off with just a group chat from class. She started dressing differently, more carefully, for her so-called cooking nights. Tight tops, makeup, perfume. I noticed the meals she claimed to have cooked in class sometimes smelled reheated, like they'd come from a takeout container. When I offered to walk her to class one evening, she snapped, "Mark, it's embarrassing. I don't need you following me around like a lost puppy." That stung. Something in my gut told me these weren't cooking classes at all. One Thursday, I left work early. Instead of heading home, I drove to the culinary studio address she had given me. The parking lot was half empty. No one seemed to be heading inside. My heart thudded in my chest as I walked closer. Why? When I peeked through the glass doors, the kitchen was dark. No stoves burning, no laughter, no classes, just silence. But in the back room, a door stood slightly open. Crept forward, palms sweaty. What I saw next will stay with me forever. Alina wasn't stirring a pot or chopping vegetables. She was wrapped around another man, one of the supposed instructors. Their hands, their whispers, their laughter. It wasn't culinary passion. It was betrayal, raw and deliberate. The floor seemed to fall from under me. Every smile, every excuse, every night she left me alone. It all made sense. I stood, frozen, rage and heartbreak twisting together until I felt sick. I didn't confront them. I didn't shout. I simply turned and walked away. In that moment, silence was the loudest weapon I had. That night, Alina came home humming, pretending everything was normal. She placed a dish on the table and said, "I made this just for you." I looked her straight in the eye, smiled, and said, "It's funny, Alina. I stopped by your cooking class tonight." The place looked empty, her face drained of color. She stammered, dropping the spoon in her hand. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. Instead, I slid an envelope across the table. Papers I'd quietly prepared after weeks of suspicion. Separation. While she was busy cooking, I had been setting the table for her downfall. I moved out the next day without another word. No dramatic fight, no begging, just silence and absence. The weight of her guilt was punishment enough, but the sweetest revenge. 6 months later, I got a call. That instructor she left me for had ghosted her. She tried reaching out to me, saying she'd made a mistake, that she wanted to work things out. I replied with 2 words, "Bon appetit." I rebuilt myself. I traveled, focused on my health, and launched my own financial consultancy. I thrived without her, proving that betrayal might break your heart, but it doesn't have to break your future. Alina, last I heard, she's struggling, hopping between jobs and still chasing the love she threw away. When someone feeds you lies, don't swallow them. Walk away and feast on your own success. Subscribe to SilkMirror for more stories where betrayal meets poetic justice.